Today's today, yanking out the S65 that blew up. Oh no. That is insane. This was technically my first ever M3, my first ever S65, and I put a whopping 5 miles on the car before it exploded. So yeah, my initial impressions of E90 chassis M3s, it's not good. Never done this before, so I'm gonna join in on the fun. I've been putting it off for too long. I gotta get the engine out of the M3. I want to at least blow the pollen off of it first because it's nasty and I don't want to be covered in pollen because I have bad pollen allergies. And then we gotta figure out a way to push the car in the garage, which will be easier said than done. Now there's a huge number of things that could have caused this failure. One being maybe an improper rod bearing installed by me, though I followed instructions, torqued everything to spec with new ARP bolts and lube. I don't think that's the problem. Number two, people say these have crank bearing problems, which I wasn't aware of. Number three, some type of oil starvation, possible. Number four, not really sure. The previous owner told me this engine was making noise, so I figured it was rod bearings, did the rod bearings, well, the noise didn't change at all. And this car was repossessed, so that tells you a little bit about the previous owner before the previous owner. So we know the engine is toast, we know it needs a new engine, and before any of that, the old engine has to come out. And while the engine's out, well, I might as well look inside it and see what it looks like. I know you guys are absolutely screaming at the screen right now. I know I bought a really abused version of the E92 M3. Most of them are way, way nicer than this, better maintained, better serviced, and, you know, not blowing up. But to say that the S65 is a reliable engine, well, I just don't think I would agree with that. But I'm willing to give the S65 another chance. It's time to rebuild this M3. And to rebuild it, I've got to pull the blown up S65 out. Here, I know a spot for that. I can go right in there. No metal coming out of the oil yet. Very clean, actually. Oh my God. Right when I said that, a giant chunk just came out.
Yeah.
Where is it? Oh, it fell
It's in the hole? Ah.
I think it fell in the hole.
Boats smell like boat hulls, which is fiberglass and paint. And this car smells like that. Also, salt water and mildew and sea life and urchins.
Donald was working on the top side of the engine and getting the front end ready for removal while I went under the car and started disconnecting the transmission and the exhaust. This is where we're at. About to pull the front core support off with all the radiator and all the coolers and stuff. Drive shaft is disconnected, exhaust is disconnected, wiring underneath is disconnected. We're getting there.
Hey.
That'll do just fine. While searching for proper anchor points to lift this engine up by the hoist, we figured out that removing the intake manifold was best suited to get this thing out of here. It was just a big bulky thing that's going to be in the way.
That could have been worse.
That's not too bad.
I think we spray a little silicone on these going back on.
With a game plan in motion, I needed to get back underneath the car and disconnect the shifter, which I forgot, and then get the hoist out and get that prepped and ready to yank this engine and transmission out together as a combo. I connected the passenger side of the engine to the hoist, and Donald connect the driver's side, or at least I thought he did. What the? Donald, what did you attach that to?
That was my failsafe, bro. Don't judge me for that.
I say all the time, this guy's an actual mechanic, and he can't even connect a nut and bolt to an engine mount.
I meant to do that. Matt, some cars just belong in a junkyard, man.
Can you release the lock on that side?
Yeah.
There you go.
I think we're good, dude. I think we are... Oh, there's one thing still connected. What's that?
Blow, blow, Seminole wind.
Blow like you're never gonna blow again.
The garage sodas might have been contributing to our singing at this point.
There we go. Crank it up. Stand by. Give me a yank.
The car's not gonna like flip backwards, is it? Get up there now. Holy sh!
Man, that's f***ed up.
Fat boy! The main thing causing us problems is, while lifting the engine out of the car was tilting backwards on the quick jack, so it was fighting us the whole way, but we were still able to get it out.
That's it, big boy. Broken spring and all.
That was an absolute ginormous job, guys. This is not an easy engine to get out at all, but we managed to get it out. It was time to get the car out of the garage, clean up, and perhaps start tearing down this engine. Got to see what failed and do a major cleanup of everything. Did I expect this to be in my garage right now? An E92 M3 without an engine or transmission and an absolute mess? No, this is not what I had in mind when buying this car, but it was a project. It's to be expected, the unexpected. What do you think, Donald? Push this hunk of junk back outside?
I reckon.
Well, at least I can get this quick jack out now that there's no engine pushing down on the broken spring.
Subframe before to do the rod bearings.
Yes. Right. The brakes still work.
Nice.
I gotta cut as much as I can.
Okay. minute. To the right. Straighten it up.
What a freaking vehicle. The S65 is out of the car, so now what? Well, now what is at least pulling the oil pan off and getting a peek inside as to what happened. I also have to get the transmission off there because I'll be keeping that. If you guys did make it this far in the video, I would appreciate a like, subscription, or a comment. Those things are free and mean a lot to me. Me and Donnie got the engine out. That was an adventure, but why did the engine fail? We know part of the failure, but we don't know exactly why the entire thing just imploded, at least one cylinder. I also don't know why I put this away. I need to get this back out to lift the engine up to take the oil pan off. And no, I'm certainly not getting under this engine while it's just hanging by an engine crane, that's for sure. Safety first, I will be off to the side. Something I actually might do real quick too is I might as well get the transmission off because I need to take some bolts out anyway for the oil pan, so it'll make all this a little bit easier. That was rather easy, surprisingly. I'm guessing you got some water sitting in here, but I don't think it rained over the last day. That just seems like water, nothing else. All right, back up we go. There she comes. Oh, there's a piece of metal from something. Oh boy, there are chunks in here. There are a couple chunks in this boy. Oh, this is great. This is just absolutely great. Oh, it looks like a little bit of rod in there, if I had to guess. There's a bit of rod there. There's a bit of rod there. Look at the crank where that rod was. I mean, it does not look burnt. It does not look spun. It actually looks totally fine. So what caused this failure? Oil pump is still chained and tightened. That's all fine. I mean, honestly, guys, I really don't see anything abnormal under here other than that one cylinder just saying bye-bye and absolutely wrecking the block and the oil pan in the process. There's certainly a lot to take in down here, guys, and I'm just not sure what to make of it. I mean, there's plenty of oil down here. You can tell, I mean, it looks as if everything was getting lube without a problem. The rod next to the one that exploded is still attached and fine. There's no metal shavings at all in the pickup tubes, like not a drop. There's the rod bearing, folded in half. So many questions. Not enough knowledge, at least not on my part. I tried spinning the engine over and there's absolutely no way it's not moving. That piston and everything is just way too jammed in there. Tell me what you guys think of all this, because I'm generally pretty stumped. Don't know what happened here. Would love some insight and guidance. It's absolutely wild to me, guys, that this is just still absolutely perfectly smooth. The crank where the rod bearing attaches. You can see everything is, well, destroyed. Nice big old chunk missing right there. That's not supposed to be like that. I'd love you guys' insight because you guys are full of it. That could definitely help me out. I want to see if I can get one rod bearing off. Oh, and I can. And that looks 100% perfect. I don't think I had a bad install, guys. I really think something else failed. After gathering all the oil pan and transmission bolts, I wanted to take this found rod bearing and the bottom of the rod that, well, disintegrated into the garage for a closer inspection. So while we don't know what happened to the engine, or at least I don't, we have a few clues. I gathered this part of a rod, you can see the journal there, and this rod bearing from the destroyed cylinder. Now for reference, here's another rod that I pulled off that is absolutely perfect. No issues with that at all. And the ARP rod bolts that were in that one were absolutely perfect as well. And this one still has the rod bolt in it. So at least I know this rod bolt didn't back out or anything, but this is the top side. The piston would be up there. You look at this, well, it's pretty much just completely chewed up, but I don't see any like bluing or anything, like it had gotten overheated. So that's a clue. Now, the rod bearing itself, well, it's obviously destroyed, mangled, and bent in many ways. Let's see if I can unbend it. I would assume this is the inside of the rod. Maybe like a little bit of bluing or something there maybe, but this could be from so many things, because obviously this was chucked around in the cylinder over and over and over again. So take what you want from this, and let me know your thoughts. So take all that information that I've given you, crunch it up there, spit it out in the comments, let me know what you think. We'll see you in the next video. I still have to get a new S65 for this car, along with, well, everything else that it needs, and that's a big list.